I looked forward to the continuation of Season 2 for Mushoku Tensei for a long time. The first half was a great showcase of dealing with trauma and finding the strength to move forward. As stellar as the first half was, I did not expect to be blown away as I was by episode 17 of Mushoku Tensei. Mushoku Tensei is well known for its great storytelling, world building, and character development. From watching a hopeless NEET tossed into a new life and doing what he can to improve himself and his life, traveling the colorful world after the mass teleportation event, and now exploring relationships. Season 2 focuses on Rudius' personal development as he adapts to life in school and focuses on finding a cure for his impotence. With help from Sylphie, who is an absolute sweetheart, Rudius finds his cure, and we continue forward with Rudius adapting to the newlywed life and helping friends along the way. The build-up to episode 17 begins at the end of episode 15 with the introduction of Rudius' little sisters, Aisha and Norn, and the GOAT himself, Ruijerd. Heading into episode 16, the focus is on the relationship between Rudius and his little sisters and how they will continue forward. Immediately, we're reminded of Norn's feelings for Rudius, which are understandable. Her first interaction with Rudius was him beating her father, whom she is very close to, and protected her after they were put through the mass teleportation. Her fear and hatred are justified, and even though Ruijerd and Paul have vouched for Rudius, she cannot bring herself to trust him. Episode 17. After Rudius allows Norn to live on campus at her request, news that she has been locking herself away in her room reaches him. The correlation between Rudius' former self and Norn is immediately drawn. Rudius understands what can lead one to locking themselves away and the negative effects on their life overall. Of course, his own trauma leads to him believing the worst as he accuses Norn's classmates of bullying and her teacher of stripping her naked. Rudius, as someone who failed to help himself in his former life, allows his own trauma to steer his decision making and believes violent retaliation against what has caused Norn to lock herself away is the only answer. As such, realizing that he is the reason for Norn locking herself away stumps him. The stifling pressure of being compared to her older brother, who is considered a genius in school, the traumatic events Norn has had to endure, and being away from one of the few people she can trust all culminate and overwhelm Norn, who locks herself away as a result. The second half of episode 17 is a writing masterclass. Rudius learns that he is the reason behind Norn locking herself away in her room, and we are tossed into a juxtaposition of current Norn and Rudius' former life. Even though Rudius understands what has caused Norn to lock herself away, he is unsure of how to help her. In his past life, he remains stuck as a NEET, afraid to leave his room after all that he faced. He fears this for Norn, but has no answer for it. Even so, Rudius wants to help, just as his older brother did in the past. He remembers his brother's honest effort to help, one that he learns to appreciate, but that he didn't have the strength to accept in his past life. Despite having no clue what to do, Rudius makes his way to Norn's room, and here we are greeted with one of the two best scenes of the episode. As he reaches for Norn's bedroom door, he hears his old voice, angry and rejecting help. Here, Rudius could have accepted that he had no solution, that attempting to help as his brother once did would only fail, but Rudius opens the door. Inside, we see his old self for a moment, the last hurdle that Rudius must move past, the uncertainty he must overcome, and he does. Rudius understands how important this visit is as he remembers his brother eventually stopped trying, leaving Rudius to fall deeper into his own pit and never recover. Should he fail during this visit, the same will happen to Norn. The episode transitions over to Norn's point of view as Rudius kneels by her bed. Her reason for hating Rudius, though misunderstandings, are fair. Her resentment for him overwhelmed any attempt by others to convince her to think of him differently. And Norn finds Rudius too carefree as Paul searches frantically for Zenith. She cannot trust him, she cannot accept him as family, and now she fears him. As those feelings culminate, she is tossed into school and immediately compared to her genius brother. The pressure of being compared to her older brother constantly, alongside seeing how he is admired and respected, only builds an unsustainable weight that starts to have a physical effect on her. Norn must deal with this after being forced away from her father, combined with having to adjust to her new life as she is unsure of how to feel for her older brother who everyone praises and vouches for. The pressure and confusion lead to her locking herself away. Norn begins to question her own emotions for Rudius. She questions if her own emotions are justified or correct. She wonders what Rudius wants from her. How did Rudius and Paul make up? However many questions riddle her mind, she has no answers for any of them and believes she has no one to turn to for help in her new home. Both siblings are lost and have no answer. Even if Norn is encouraged to make up with Rudius, a combination of her youth, confusion, and the pressure of all she must face makes it difficult to do so. Rudius, despite understanding the dangers of what Norn is facing, is lost as he didn't have the strength to accept help or find it himself in his former life. There is no correct answer, but Rudius makes the best choice and one that will allow Norn to trust him. Even if he is the cause of the problem, even if he has no solution for her, he wants to be there. Showing that he cares, showing that he is not perfect, and showing vulnerability allows Norn to look at Rudius. And because Rudius allows himself to be vulnerable and weak in front of his little sister, she can see someone she cares about. And here we are given another of the best scenes of this episode. She sees in him a vulnerable Paul. The man she cares for the most and loves without limit is also one who has shown her his own weakness and care. And Rudius, though unknowingly, does just the same. Seeing Paul and Rudius, Norn can accept his help. Even if all he can offer is someone she can rely on, that is enough for her to trust him. Norn, as young as she is, as much as she has gone through, finds the strength to accept his help. They share a moment in which Norn allows herself to cry and use Rudius as someone she can cry to. But that is all Rudius needs to do. To be there for her and to be someone she can rely on when she needs it. Absolutely wonderful. No words are exchanged, both accept each other as vulnerable they may be. From here, Norn leaves her room and returns to class. She has a strength Rudius never had in his past life, and he is happy for her. Rudius accepts and appreciates his older brother's efforts, hoping to one day relay his appreciation. Seeing Rudius and Sylphie share a moment near the end is wonderful, and Norn smiling alongside some friends is a great conclusion to what I believe is one of the best episodes of Mushoku Tensei and a masterclass of writing. If we're to get more of this, then I'm more than happy for the ride and look forward to the next episode. Oh no.